Welcome. My name is Naomi Lehue, and I'm the coordinator of discipleship at St. Anne's. And I'm so excited to get to be a part of one of the Share Your Stories that we've been doing this series here at St. Anne's. And so I'm here with my good friend, Patty, who I've gotten to know this last year through our Connect group, which if you're not familiar with that is, Patty will be speaking about that a little bit more. So hi, Patty.
Hi.
Thank you so much for doing this. I know that it's a big step. So I thank you for your courage and your openness to just talk about what the Lord has been doing in your life. So just to give you a chance to get to know Patty a little bit, Patty, you want to give us the 30-second intro about yourself?
Yeah, I've lived here in the Metroplex for my whole life, actually in Flower Mound most of my life. I'm an educator for Louisville ISD, got 4 children, and I've been going to hands for probably about 20 years.
Beautiful. Yeah. So I've been here for a long time. Right. And so when you think back about that, about your time at St. Anne's, kind of how would you describe your relationship with Jesus and his church?
Well, I was thinking when I was younger, of course, not having any children, I strayed from the church. Was not my priority in my life. But then once I was a mother, I realized I wanted to do more for my children. And so I would take them to church. We would go regularly up until about a few years ago when I got stuck.
And super involved, right? You said you did Bible studies and chirp and just really involved in the community.
Yes, because I felt like my kids weren't really buying into the church. We would go and they would sit there, but we weren't doing enough, I don't think. So I thought I need to be a better example because I want more. I want them to have a true faith instead of just going through the motions.
Yeah, beautiful. It's a beautiful desire of a mother's heart there. So you've been really involved. And then about a year and a half ago, kind of went through a situation that was really unforeseen. Are you willing to share a little bit about that?
Sure. I was happily married. I thought I was going to be married for the rest of my life. And something really ugly and suddenly happened. And within a week, my world turned upside down. And I felt like, God, I was being a good disciple. I was trying to do everything I could. Of course, I wasn't perfect, but I didn't feel like my family deserved what had happened to us. And I was angry with God and even embarrassed to go back to church. I felt like Catholics, we don't get a divorce. But in this situation, I do believe Jesus. I do believe that I was right to get a divorce. But I think that I was embarrassed because I was used to going to church with my family and my husband, and that was no longer the nice picture anymore. So I strayed from the church for a while. And actually did say, Mom, why are we not going to church anymore? And I felt bad.
It's interesting how kids, right? Kind of hear you're doing it for your kids, and now here your kids are like, "Hey, Mom." So
still didn't go when she told me. I still didn't go for a while.
Yeah. Well, I think it's understandable. I think a lot of people can relate to those feelings, especially after going through something like that, like a divorce. So what kind of changed things for you then?
Actually, it was weird because I felt like one morning I just felt like I needed to reach out to an old friend of mine, and we started talking for a while. And then later he was like, "Why are you not going to church?" And I was like, "Well, I'm embarrassed." I was like, we always went as a family, and now, I kind of felt like I don't know. I just didn't. I would think everybody would know, and and nobody's gonna. But I felt like everybody's gonna be like, "Why is she without her husband all the time now?" And he was like, "It doesn't matter. That's it's your own journey. It's between you and God. You just go to church." And my mom had been telling me that, but I hadn't listened to her. So suddenly, maybe God worked through him to make me. I went back to church, slowly, and then sometimes, like when my kids weren't with me at church, and there were the dad, and I went by myself. I would just cry and just sob. If I had my kids, no, because they just too distracting. I didn't feel it as much. But if I was just alone with the Lord, I felt His presence, just like, and I just couldn't knock that. Like, I don't feel that that pain in my heart, like only through God. Like when I'm listening to one of Curtis's songs or one of the great homilies, I don't feel that anywhere else.
Wow, beautiful.
God is present.
Yeah. So kind of stayed away for a little bit because you felt all these different barriers, but then started to take that step back. And it sounds like God was just pouring into you and your presence. And then another big part of your journey kind of back was the Connect group. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I did. I started feeling like, well, Sunday church isn't enough. I was still kind of like hungry for more. And I had remembered I had gone to a Connect group a long time ago when I had did off years ago, but I didn't keep going because I was, just too busy with life. But now I felt like, you know what? I'm divorced. I need to like make friends again and be, fellowship with people. And I started going back to the group, and I was thinking, about 10 years ago, I had a huge crisis also. And I went to the church, had no appointment, and I was just sobbing. And Monsignor Jusman just opened his arms and just didn't ask questions, didn't tell me, like I would think at another church they would say, you don't have an appointment, I didn't have an appointment, but he just saw that I needed him. And that was the only place that I thought to go to was church. And this time again, it reminded me of that when I went to the Connect group. Nobody asked me like, why are you here today? Or who are you? Or, is this the group you usually attend? Or, nothing, no questions asked. They just like Monsignor Duzman did those years ago. They all just embraced me with open arms and just love. I just feel love from the people in that group. I feel like this is really a church family. And these are like truly good friends. And I'm just so blessed that, it's not just scripture either. It's like, we just really just love each other for that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. So I don't know if everybody's as familiar with Connect groups, but they're mid-sized community groups at St. Anne's that meet in homes for a chance to grow in faith, to grow in fellowship, right? To kind of walk this journey together with life. So Patty, what would you say based on, that's been a lot that's happened, right? In 2 years, kind of how would you kind of say what the Lord is just doing in you now?
I just feel like I know where to go to now if I ever have something really bad happen, a crisis that I feel like I'm all alone. I feel like God is there working through people in the church, and I feel love from them, and I think I'm more aware. I think I would feel the pains like in my heart sometimes when before, but since this year and a half, and I went back to church, I'm more aware of it. I'm like, oh yeah, I feel God's presence. He doesn't talk to me like some people say. They get these voices in their head. I don't get that. All I do is I get that pain in my heart, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's there.
Yeah. So that's so beautifully, right? That you just know that he's there. So, well, Patty, it's been just a joy for me to get to know you in our Connect group over this last year. And I'm just so grateful that nothing kept you away, that you had the courage to just say, I need this and I'm going to take steps. And I'm so glad that you're a part of the St. Anne community. So exciting. I appreciate you taking your time to share your story with us today. So thank you all. Let's continue to strive out to share our stories and to continue to be the church. Thank you and God bless.